Hi guys, this is Mrs. Gassler, and since I'm not here today, I'm going to be talking to you about how to finish up the bubble tube lab on video. So here's what you've got. Last time you collected your data and you were supposed to graph it, but you might not have graphed it. If you haven't graphed it yet, stop the video and go graph it now. A couple of notes about graphing, and if you've already made your graph, that's fine. You don't have to make any changes, but notice how I took up the whole graph. You see how my dots go all the way aside? So I went all the way over by 2s to get through 10, so it took up the whole thing. And I missed a little bit because my last one was at 63 and my top number is 60, but I tried to make it take up the whole thing, so I went up by 3s. If you went up by 5s, that's fine. Going up by 10s is a little bit small, so we can't really see what's going on. So here's my graph. Did you label the y-axis as the position in centimeters? Did you label the x-axis as time in seconds? Did you put a title on your graph? A good title for this one is position versus time. That's a good graph right there. Now, I can't recall what colors these particular things came for, but down here it says do not connect the dots. We never connect the dots in physics because we're just looking for basic information. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pen on the first dot. Actually, I'm going to use the pencil. I'm going to do the pencil one first. I did pen and pencil dots so I could tell which ones went with what. But it's kind of obvious, right? They're definitely not in the same place. So I'm going to kind of take my ruler. You could use any straight edge. Here, let me demonstrate with this folder I've got here. And I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to kind of follow where the dots are. I don't really care if I actually touch any of the dots, just that I'm kind of following where they are. So that's my best fit line. It's a best fit line because that looks like a pretty straight line, but I can see that my dots aren't exactly right. You see, I'm not perfect, so when I make measurements, sometimes they're off a little bit. When I'm marking things that are moving, sometimes I'm off a little bit, but that is a pretty straight line. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one with my pen, but you'll see I have some issues here because I made some mistakes. I put the dot in the wrong place a couple of times, so I got to pretend that those aren't there. But I'm going to start on 0. Why am I starting on 0? Well, you see my car wasn't moving, or the bubble started at the first dot, which was the 0 dot, so that's why I'm going to start there. So then there's most of my dots there, and so that's my other best fit line. Again, I'm not trying to connect the dots. I don't really care exactly how many of my dots are on the line. If I did a really good job, then the same number of dots above the line would also be below the line. So maybe this blue one isn't pretty good, but this pencil one's not too bad. So that I've got an idea of what's going on here. Okay, so now that I have my best fit lines, this one was either red or orange or yellow. And this one was either green or blue or purple. And how do I know that? Well, if you recall, the darker colors had the slower bubble. We had a lot of fun with that in class, didn't we? So we know that this one must be slower. This is the slower one, okay? All right, so if you flip the page over to page 16, it's actually numbered now. There it is, page 16. There are some follow-up questions right here. Okay, there's 10 of them. I want to point out that this question is actually continued on the next page. So that you can answer it over there. Right here is where you can put that in there, and then you can talk about the answers to those questions here. You've got about 20 minutes or so to take care of that and then get that submitted. Thanks for watching, and I'll ask questions if you have any later, okay? Bye.